Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness.
As we know, courtrooms are places where justice is administered and delivered. But it is also where some of the most astonishing and incredible events occur. In this video, we are looking at some of the most jaw-dropping and mind-blowing moments that occurred in court history. Number 1. Arthur Booth. Miami judge Mindy Glazer was presiding over a case in 2015 when she unexpectedly recognized that the defendant Arthur Booth was her middle school mate. She then went through normal court procedure and set bail at $43,000, or offered him 1 year in jail if he couldn't pay. Once she had done with him, she asked if he went to Nautilus for middle school, and that was the moment when Arthur Booth realized his old schoolmate and responded with teary eyes. She remembered him as a bright young kid who was great at math and science and had big goals. However, when Booth was a teenager, he got into gambling, eventually leading to addiction problems. In 2015, the 49-year-old Arthur Booth was spotted driving a car that was reportedly stolen in a robbery. He was arrested, and his charges gradually led him into Judge Mindy Glazer's court. Arthur was in prison for 10 months, after which he was released for good behavior. And after his release, he reunited with his family and met Judge Mindy Glazer and said, "You got to take care of your family. Try to get a job, stay clean. You're gonna do something good for somebody else. That's what you've got to do." The judge had some tough love advice for him. "This is a group effort to see you succeed. Don't let us down." And Arthur replied, "I won't. I promise not to. Everyone believes next time they meet in a class reunion." Arthur Booth started a new life after learning many things, and he also thanked Judge Mindy Glazer for motivating him to start a new life. Number 2. Michael Madison. On April 4, 2016, Madison's trial began. He was found guilty of killing and mutilation of 3 young women in Ohio. The gruesome nature of the crime shocked the people of East Cleveland, and police found the remains of victims in different areas of Madison's neighborhood. One in his apartment, the police officers found evidence of decomposition fluid in several parts of the apartment building, and some maggots were attached to the decomposition fluid. Hence, on June 2, 2016, Cuyahoga Common Pleas Court Judge Nancy R. McDonnell sentenced Madison to death. As part of the hearing, Van Terry, father of one of the victims, steps up to the podium to make a victim impact statement. Mr. Terry's now just a few feet away from the man who so brutally took the life of his beloved daughter, Sherelda. During the trial, Van Terry, the father of 18-year-old Sherelda Terry, was speaking. "Right now, I guess, in our hearts, we're supposed to forgive this clown," he said, looking forward towards the judge. Then looking back towards the murderer, who has touched our families, taken my child. He paused for a moment. That is when the serial killer smirked at him. Van Terry lost his control and ran towards Madison and jumped over the table to attack Madison. Luckily, the sheriff's deputies reacted quickly and saved Madison. Then they escorted Van Terry out of the courtroom, and no charges were filed against him. Michael Madison is sentenced to death and is currently living on Ohio's death row. Michael Madison was an American serial killer who murdered 3 women. In 2013, a decomposed corpse was discovered inside a garage he owned. Following the investigation, 2 other bodies were found, and Madison's victims had been tortured, mutilated, and strangled. Moreover, he said that other serial killers like Anthony Sowell had influenced him. Number 3. Anthony Kirkland. Anthony Kirkland is a convicted serial killer in Cincinnati, Ohio. The 40-year-old Anthony Kirkland had previously served a 16-year prison sentence for murdering his ex-girlfriend, and a few years after his release, Kirkland began his killing spree, murdering 4 women, including 2 teenagers, over 3 years. In each case, he also allegedly burned the body of the victim in an attempt to conceal the evidence of rape. He was arrested after his 4th murder, following which the police were able to pin all the murders that he had committed. Eventually, he was produced to the court, and as his charges were being read out during his trial, he fainted in the courtroom.
Count 4
aggravated murder.
After he gets back to his feet, the judge finishes reading all 12 counts related to the murder of 2 teenage girls in the Cincinnati area, and Kirkland was later found guilty on all charges and sentenced to death. Facing the death penalty, Kirkland finally takes the stand during the trial's sentencing phase. In that trial, he said, "I cannot believe how horrible I am. They say I am evil and a monster. They are right. Ever since I was little, everyone said I was bad. Even my mom hates me, but I don't blame her." He is currently on death row, awaiting his execution at the Chillicothe Correctional Facility. Number 4. Marianne Benchmeyer. On March 6, 1981, Marianne Benchmeyer opened fire in a crowded courtroom and killed Klaus Grabowski, the man who killed his 7-year-old daughter Anna. Marianne Benchmeyer had a troubled childhood. Her father was a strict alcoholic who used to be part of the Waffen-SS, the military branch of the Nazi Party. He constantly abused her, but her mother was remarried to another abusive parent. On May 5, 1980, after Marianne and her daughter had a fight, Anna decided not to attend school. She wandered around town attempting to visit her friend's house, but realizing Anna was not there then, she headed back home. On her way home, Klaus Grabowski seduced Marianne's daughter and invited young Anna to his house to spend time with his cats. And as she arrived, she was kidnapped, raped, and later murdered. He buried the body and pretended to be as if nothing had happened, but was eventually caught by the police. As soon as Marianne learned what had happened to her daughter, she vowed revenge. When the police told Marianne about her daughter's murder, she couldn't react and was destroyed at Anna's funeral. Some days later, she played Pink Floyd in the church. The trial started several unbearable months later. However, she got a Beretta M1934 pistol and learned how to use it during the hearings against Klaus Grabowski. Marianne reached the court and approached Grabowski quietly until she reached his back and drew her pistol and fired 8 times. The courtroom was frozen, except for the guards who came to restrain her, and Klaus Grabowski died after taking 6 of her bullets. And this became some of the most famous vigilante cases in Germany. In the end, she was sentenced to 6 years in prison for manslaughter, and she was released after 3 years and a year and a half on those on suicide watch. After this incident, Marianne Benchmeyer infamously became known as the Revenge Mother. Number 5. Dale Williams. In the death of his ex-girlfriend, 62-year-old Dale Williams was convicted of aggravated murder, and her family was present at his sentencing in the Youngstown, Ohio courthouse when her 2 sons tried to get some justice of their own. One of her sons lunged at Williams across a table, and 2 of the officers tried to stop the attack, but the man was able to grab Williams by the feet and drag him. The victim's other son tried to help his brother, but one officer pulled out a taser gun, and the brothers gave up their fight. For some time, the courtroom was chaotic and created an environment of violence. Hence, Williams was taken out of the courtroom, and his sentencing was postponed. 30-year-old Anthony D. and his brother, 23-year-old Jerome Stewart, were arrested and charged with assault, contempt of court, and obstructing official business. Hope you all enjoyed the content, and if so, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, please share your valuable feedback in the comment section. So, see you soon. Until then, goodbye.